once a week in my house is always pasta night, or even maybe twice a week it's pasta night. But Tuesdays typically it seems to be, because Mondays we have like our typical vegetarian chapatis and a curry and a dal and a rice. But on Tuesdays we always seem to end up having pasta, and I get sick of just having tomato pasta all the time. So I make like green pasta, or I make bolognese, and I also make this one with squash or any other vegetables, but I always like to mix it up. So with squash it's really good because I've had this squash sitting in my fruit bowl for about 2 weeks and it lasts forever. So in these times we're not going out as much, butternut squash is really a great vegetable to keep because it just lasts so long. What I've done with this butternut squash is I've roasted it in the oven. Half of it I used for another recipe, and this half I'm using again. And look, I have not even peeled it, and it was just the neck end like that. I split it into two and roasted it. That's all I've got left, but that'll be plenty for this sauce I'm doing. All I'm going to do is scoop it out, and then it's going to become the most creamiest sauce. So first, let's start by flavouring the oil. I'm just getting some plain olive oil, not extra virgin, just normal plain olive oil into the pan. Be quite generous, and into that pan I'm going to start flavouring my oil with fennel seeds. I love this taste of fennel seeds. I think it works really well in Italian cooking. I've done it before with my fish and things, but I think it works really well in here as well. I don't have any sage, which is a bit of a shame. Sage and butternut squash go really well together, but I'm making do with everything that I have. So for me, even this is like cooking, you know, really imaginatively and like using alternatives. And so into the fennel seeds, while they're just cooking off, I've got 5 cloves of crushed garlic. I know that sounds like a lot, but I'm a garlic lover. I love putting them in. That's a fresh chili as well. I only had half a chili there. I'm putting in half a chili and 5 crushed garlic cloves. And then just saute that off a little bit. And before the garlic gets too brown, which means it will be burning, so you don't want it to burn. Cook that off for about 10-15 seconds, not long at all. And that's when you go in with the squash. And I'm just going to go like an avocado, try and feel the skin, go all the way around and get all the flesh out. I mean, the skin's nice as well. I don't mind having the skin in there either, but on this occasion I do want it to be quiet. I'm going to take it off the heat because I really don't want that garlic to burn. I want a really, really smooth sauce. So it's going to be like a silky, smooth, sweet, with a bit of chili. Yeah, it's a really delicious sauce. So let me put the butternut squash in, just going round again. And then the skin comes off. If you roast it like this, gives it a much nicer, deeper, sweeter, nuttier flavour. And then I'm going to also go in with 2 special ingredients. And you don't have to add this in, but I always seem to have this ingredient because I use it for things like biryani and paella, and that is saffron. Saffron works really well in Italian cooking. You know, they're made it with Spain, and so they've sort of imported a lot of saffron that works with the seafood dishes and also in risottos, but you do find a lot of saffron, and I love using saffron in rice, even in desserts, in Indian desserts. I'm just going to go in with a quick potato masher and break up that butternut squash. I'll just show you what it looks like in a minute. See, so I haven't got much there at all, but it's really going to go a long way. Chili, garlic, fennel, butternut squash. You can also put this in a blitzer and blitz it with a bit of the pasta water that I never throw away, but it's just an extra step, and I thought it's not that necessary. If you really wanted it smooth and you really wanted to, but I can't really be bothered, to be honest. So I just put it in here, and it will give me that smooth, creamy texture I want once I put in my liquid. Get rid of this. And into my butternut squash, I'm going to add a little bit of the cooking water, just a little, and then go in with some mascarpone cream. Not too much. Mascarpone cheese, which will make it creamy, but it doesn't need too much. I'd say about 2 heaped teaspoons is nice. And then you can always add and take away a bit later. This is a real recipe for your own personal taste and how you like things. But as that goes in, it starts melting. And a final bit of seasoning that I love, that works so well with butternut squash, is what I do with my ravioli, and I put in nutmeg, freshly grated nutmeg. I'm not a massive fan of the powdered stuff unless it's for like a cake or something, but in things like this, I think freshly grated really does taste a lot better. So I'm just going to grate in a bit of my nutmeg. I don't know why these flavours marry so well, maybe because they're just autumnal. Although you can get butternut squash all year round. And actually, the way I'm making this is quite summery. It's really nice that although in this lockdown, the weather has been amazing. So I am really turning my sights to summery, lighter food now, which I'm enjoying. So that's about sort of, not even a quarter, but let me see how that looks. It's funny, when my boy never used to sleep, I used to grate nutmeg into his milk. Apparently it puts you to sleep, so never put in too much because it might put you to sleep. But I love it. I think the flavour is such a nice, warm flavour that pairs so nice with butternut squash. So put as little or as much as you like. I'm putting to my flavouring. Now that's done. And so pretty much my sauce is done. And the final thing I'm going to add is my saffron. If you don't have this, really don't worry. But if you do have it, it's lovely. A little bit of the cooking water of the pasta went in there to dilute that saffron. And it was about a pinch, you know, sort of 4 or 5 strands goes a long way. It's just a subtle flavour and it just goes all yellow and lovely, and there you go. That's your sauce. And to that, hopefully you can see that. And then, so that's the sauce. So quite smooth, see? Already it's gone quite smooth without even blitzing it because we've roasted it. And to that I'm going to add my pasta. Any pasta will do. I've just got like a massive, 3 kg bag of penne, so I'm just using that all up. But any pasta will do. And the precious pasta water, never ever get rid of that. I'm going to add in a bit of that, which has got the starch, and then just bring that together. And once that's all combined, I'll plate it up. And I'm also going to show you a salad that I'm going to serve with it too. Before I just plate up the pasta, I want to show the salad that I'm going to serve it with. It's just a mixed leaf salad there. But what I did the other day is I had so many peppers and courgettes in my fridge, sort of just about on the turn. So I thought, right, I'm just going to grill them off. And then you can get like strips of this and just make antipasti like this and just put it all over your salad. Just on a normal griddle, I just grilled it off. And then look, I've got all these roasted peppers, things that were really going off. And then you've got like a really instant nice salad, because I don't have any other salad vegetables and things. So look, by doing this, it's just given me the most instant salad. There you go. So it's extra veggies. I'll save that for a sandwich or something tomorrow. And then you can dress that with a little bit of olive oil, and it doesn't really need much else. You can do a bit of pesto or something like that if you wanted, but I'm just going to leave it plain because my pasta is so flavoursome. So here we go, nice big bowl, and I'm going to dress it with my pasta, and it's so creamy. There we go. Butternut squash, saffron, red chilli. If you don't have fresh chilli, don't worry, just use chilli flakes. It'll work just as nice. And then I'm always going to top it with some really nice extra virgin olive oil. Always at the end. And then in goes some Parmesan, because we don't have enough cheese already, so it needs some more. But if you're going to have Italian, just do it properly, right? There's no point doing it half-heartedly. So there we go with the Parmesan, or a veg alternative, any hard cheese will do. And at this stage I would have put in some nice crispy sage leaves, but I haven't got any. So for crunch, I'm going to put in some hazelnuts. I would normally put in pumpkin seeds as well, but hazelnuts works really well. So it's making do with whatever we've got. So some toasted hazelnuts there. Works really well with butternut squash. And because I don't have the sage, I always need to top it with some sort of greenery. So basil leaves is what I have. Basil always works, doesn't it? It's It's yeah, just screams Italian. There we go. And then a nice chilled glass of rosé because it's nice and summery. And yeah, just tuck in front of the TV. Butternut squash, saffron chili, hazelnut pasta. Enjoy.